right, folks, this is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Time to get this show on the road. Hey, and good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. We come to you Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, our new times. Talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events, shape the city. Shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, think living local and the return of cool. And hopefully you all had a great weekend. I know I did. I got a special announcement to make to you today. And I think it's going to come as a surprise to many, probably some to maybe many not, but we're going to make the announcement anyways. Let's do this real quick. We'll welcome in all our friends from Facebook and on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to, right here, folks, click that little subscribe button, subscribe to our page, and that way you get updated every time we do something here on the page. So, we do a lot. As a matter of fact, I get updates from people all the time. I really do. Some nice, some not so nice, and I know who you are. And that's cool, everybody, as long as you're watching and you're getting something out of this, I'm pleased as punch. So that's really what really matters in this whole thing. So I want to welcome all of our friends on Facebook that are joining us right now. I'm kind of clicking through our pages right now. I probably should make this over here someplace so I could actually see it a little bit better. But I got this big monitor. This monitor that's over here is like huge. And then I got another huge monitor over here. And there's just not enough room for everything. So let's make sure we're up and running here on our pages. I don't know about you, but if you looked at our new website, our website for some reason is loading really slow. So I want to apologize to you. We did some things. Looks like we've got people who have been trying to hack our site, which makes you kind of wonder what these people are doing. But But if you're on any one of our Facebook pages, we welcome you. I did shave off the mustache. I know some of you are looking at it and it's gone. It's beard. It just looked funny. I remember when I was a kid, always wanting to grow a mustache, always wanting to grow a beard. And I had a mustache for a long time and had a beard for a while. I can grow my beard pretty long. But I tried to go for the handlebar thing, and it just looked funny. I know my wife goes, "Oh, I love it. It's cute." And I go, "Honey, but I look stupid. It just looks," to me, it just didn't work for me. And so I shaved it off. And that was just literally 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. I just couldn't take it anymore. I thought, oh my gosh, I can't take it anymore. So I just cut it off. So today, folks, I'm going to be, I'll probably be looking at my phone a lot this morning because I made an announcement to some of my friends early this morning, some of my family members, and you have to do this. So here, I'll give you a word of advice. If you have any announcements to make them to your family first. Don't do it on Facebook and then do it to your family. Okay, just don't do that because people get really upset about that. And it's not that my family, has a problem with me doing anything, but you want to make sure you let your family, your closest family members know first, and then you make announcements to everybody else. And that way people go, oh, gosh, you still have a close family. So let's do this real quick. I'm going to make an announcement here in another, 10 minutes or so. But I want to welcome all of our friends from Facebook who are joining us online right now. And you're watching us on our Facebook group page, on our business page, Livin Weekly page, Black Success Magazine page. And I want to welcome you all to the show this morning. I hope you had a great weekend. I did. Hopefully we're going to talk a little bit about the UFC this weekend because that was really cool. I got to tell you. We're going to probably spend a little bit of time watching UFC or talking about UFC because some of the most exciting fights. And something happened in the UFC this weekend that's only happened like twice or three times in all of the history of the UFC. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about our girls who played the Aces. They played this weekend. And we're going to talk about the effects of the storm we had. We had a storm this weekend and we'll talk a little bit about that. So when we come back, when we come back, folks, we're going to talk a little bit about back to school, okay? Because school's coming back right now, and you got to know about this, okay? So we'll be back in just a second, folks, and we'll talk a little bit more about it on the Livin in Vegas podcast. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, and we are back, folks. It's Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. I know we haven't seen that in a while, have we? That kind of little tinka thing. So I want to welcome you all back to the show. If you today is a special day nationwide because all the kids are back in school. Yeah, the kids are back in school, and I'm missing something I've not done in literally 3 or 4 years now. 3 or 4 years now, I've been driving my granddaughter to school, picking her up or driving her to school. And some things, you complain about them, but you love doing them because I love my kids. I really do. I might complain about and you know this. If you're an adult, you've got kids, you do this. You complain about your kids, but if you don't see them for a day or so, you kind of miss them. And I miss all my kids. Linda and I became empty nesters 2 months ago, about 2 months ago. After 31 years of marriage, we're finally empty nesters. Okay, I mean, you know, the kids have moved, they've come back, they moved, they come back, that kind of stuff. But really, we've never been alone through our entire marriage. So our last daughter moved out, and I had been, my wife and I had been kind of shuttling, helping out with kind of the school chores, and so this will be the first year that I'm not going to have to pick up my granddaughter from school or a child from school, which is kind of strange for me. So what did I do this morning? Yeah, I texted her anyways. I know. I messaged my granddaughter anyways and said, hey, how did you wake up this morning? Because I usually wake her up, you know, that kind of thing. She's going to be 16 pretty quick. But I love messing with them and love talking to them and that kind of stuff. So I know I'm feeling nostalgic. Anyways, so the kids this morning are back in school. Hopefully that you were able to get all the stuff you needed for your children. As a matter of fact, there was a story here on Facebook. Oh, excuse me, not Facebook. Channel 8 News had a story about the buses that are rolling out. And kids are back in school. Thousands of Clark County students are back at school today, and marking the beginning of the school year. And the big thing was buses, trying to get buses that were going to be able to get the kids to school. I think they were short like 250 bus drivers. That's a lot of bus drivers. They were short about 250 bus drivers. In the last minute, Jesus Jara, the CCSD superintendent, put the call out and filled many of those positions, but there's still a lot of vacancies left for bus drivers, which is amazing. It said there are over 1,300 bus routes around the Las Vegas Valley, and CCSD has a fleet of 1,900 school buses. That's a lot of people, and they wanted to fill that. Evidently, there are about 4,200 employees in the CCSD system, and they all have to work together to try to make something happen. So hopefully this year, we'll start praying for these kids that this year be a breakout year, because I had another grandson. His name is Jaden, and Jaden graduated last year, and we had a conversation with him just a couple of days ago, and he's 18 now, and he goes, Poppy, that's what they call me, Poppy. I wish I would have listened a little bit more, and if I had to go back, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. And so, we really want to support kids, support the school district, because these years in high school are very fleeting. I mean, they're like 4 years and they're done. I think kids think they're a long time. They're not. They're just a very short amount of time. And once they're done, it's going to set the stage for what's going to happen in the rest of your life. So, so the schools are back. So be careful. School zones are out right now, and so you got to be very, very careful. There was a local organization in another story. A local organization helped homeless students get ready to go back to school. Now, I don't know if many of you knew this, but there were, and I had a pastor friend of mine. His name is Pasquale Urabazo. Grew up with Pasquale. I was just talking with him just a little while ago. Used to work with the homeless students that were going to Rancho High School, because he went to Rancho. We lived, when I was a kid, we lived in that Rancho district. I didn't go to Rancho. My brother did. My older brother went to Rancho High School. I went to El Dorado. But we lived in that Rancho school district, and had no idea how many homeless youth are valley-wide that are here. And there's a lot. And you would not know it because you don't see them. You see them at school, and that's it. They're there. They're gone. But at the end of the school day, they have to figure out computers, where to eat, where to sleep, how to dress, all of that stuff. Well, there's a local organization that was helping the kids this weekend to do some simple things. I mean, things that we take for granted, like get haircuts. And I don't have to worry about that. I keep mine pretty low, even though I can grow pretty long hair. I mean, I choose not to. I mean, and many of you see my mustache. I can grow my hair down to the end of my back. Well, no, I couldn't. Not my back, but I could get to out of my ear holes. I could grow hair. So there's a group called Business Networking International Foundation and nonprofit Faith and Humanity combined together to help homeless students, get haircuts, that kind of stuff. Sunday's event, they said, helped over 400 families in need with essential school supplies and a fresh new haircut. And that's a big one. I mean, it really is. To go to school without a fresh new haircut is a big thing for a kid. I mean, kids don't ask for much. They really don't. They want to have a new pair of shoes, new socks. But in many cases, that is very, I think we take it for granted that all that stuff is going to be provided and everybody's going to be taken care of, but it doesn't happen that way all the time. So these are tough times. They really are. I want to say hello once again to our friends that are on Facebook. If you'd like to say hello, I'm panning over now. I can actually see if you would like to say yay or nay or something like that. Just say hello. I'll wave at you, you wave at me, that kind of thing. And if you've got a business, I'll make an announcement really quick. If you have a nonprofit or you have a community event that you would like us to talk about here on Facebook, on our show here, don't hesitate and let me know. We'll actually make that announcement for you. It would be great for you to do that. We've actually got an event coming up here. Let's got to make sure we get to say something about this. Where's it at? Right there. Okay. Christian Business Las Vegas. CBLV is a brand new group that we put together, and it's a bunch of Christian business owners who get together to talk about business, God, how to become better owners, that kind of stuff. We're having our first meeting August the 11th over at the Panera Bread it's at 2400? Yeah, 2400. Yeah, 2400 Rancho Drive. It's right across from, some of you may not know where that's at. It's across from the Palace Station on Sahara. So it's right back there next to Chick-fil-A. It's right behind there. So it's really center of town. Starts about 6 o'clock till about 8:30. So come on out, meet and greet some other business owners. And you don't have to be a Christian business owner to come out there, because but you are gonna meet some really cool folks, and I really hope that you are able to get something out of it. And it's $5. It's only $5 to be a part of that. We will leave a link to it below us here on the show, so you can actually register for that. And what we're trying to do is we just want to raise money for charitable, organizations, that kind of stuff. So that's CBLV. That's doing Thursday. Also, many of you probably don't even. Some of you may not even know who I am. So let's back up just a little bit. I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine, and you can actually get Livin in Vegas magazine comes out every 3 months. So very cool publication. On the cover of this one, we have Nathan Hale and Nathan Hall. Excuse me. Nathan is the brewmaster over at Bad Beat Brewing Company. They're out in Henderson. Great guy, just super nice guy. Tons of articles in this edition of Livin in Vegas magazine. So all you got to do is go to our website, livininvegas.com. You can actually check that out. Also, we've got, let's change that, Sherman. What's going on? It's Monday. That's what it is. So it's Monday. I'm going to change the picture here for Livin in Vegas, or Livin Weekly magazine. And how come I can never change the picture? For some reason, I can never change it when I want to. But anyways, we'll change it later. We'll have it. We will change that picture of Livin Weekly because the new picture, or the new magazine, talks about, really, I'm very excited about this. It's going to be talking about one of the best places to eat in town. And I think if I could eat one thing every day, I would probably eat frozen custard. That or Jamaican jerk omelets. Okay. I know there's two ends of the spectrum, but I'm Jamaican, and even though I love hot and spicy foods, I love ice cream too. And frozen custard's the best. So you'll see a real cool article there in the new Livin Weekly, which comes out every week. Every week on Fridays it comes out, runs all week long, and you can check that out. Once again, we'll leave a link to it in our show notes right below us here, and you can actually check out the new Livin Weekly magazine. Okay? Let's see. Is that it? Yeah, that was it. Okay, so let's talk about... So some of you might have noticed inflation has been really just kicking everybody's butt. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I know that the Biden administration has said that, there's no recession, everything's hunky dory, so many jobs, and all this other stuff. Okay, and the interesting thing about it is that here in the state of Nevada, things are a little different. Okay, even nationwide. So even though wages have gone up like 5%, inflation's at 9.1%, which means that you're still in the whole 4%. And if you live in a state like ours, where the cost of living is actually a little bit higher than you think. I mean, it's cheap to live here, but it's going up. It's not California, it's not New York, it's not Florida, but it is much more expensive here than you would think to live here. And because we have now an influx of people coming from other states living here, the price on everything went up. So two things happen. Price of things go up, inflation on top of it. It's a bad combination. There was a recent survey that came out and talked about where Las Vegas ranked nationally for rent, and we are, and what its effect is on people who are on the lower end of the spectrum as far as their incomes go. And it's getting to be a very troubling thing. It used to be that you could live here for basically nothing. It was like living in Costa Rica, something like that. Not anymore. It's just not that way anymore. And it happened overnight. That's the problem. especially people down in the arts district. Oh my gosh. Or just a regular rent. People have seen their rent go up 25, 50% overnight. Somebody had a rent for $400. All of a sudden, it went up to $1,400. This is no joke. It's not a small number. It's a huge number. And um, I think they said that family of four are now paying over $5,000 more a year just to keep pace with what they had the year before. And so um, Las Vegas is ranked number 17th when it comes to livability. So that's big. I mean, that's it's not a good idea. And a lot of people are thinking, boy, should I stay here forever? On average, they said Nevadans would need to make $23.70 an hour or earn an under just a little under $50,000 a year to live comfortably and able to afford rent and utilities. Well, that's not where we're at. Okay, so it's big. It's really a big thing, and we've got to get this under control. Um, let's pay a real quick bill here, folks. We'll be back in just a second for more Livin in Vegas podcast. This is Sherman Ray. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. That's not bad. Not bad at all, folks. I got my wife on occasion gets these really cool cups, and this is really cool. And thing keeps your coffee just incredibly hot. So let's. All right. So I know I was told you guys I was going to make a special announcement for you, and here it goes. So a couple of months ago, I was contacted by a local pastor, and he said, "Hey, Sherm, would you like to be a part of our team here? And come on, we'd really like to work with you." And you know, it's not that I didn't want to be a part of his team or anything like that, but really didn't feel like, sometimes you feel like, hey, I should just go for it, yeah. And so we visited his church a couple of times. My wife asked me about it, and I went, I'm not really excited. And sometimes that you know, and you make these giant moves. Well, I didn't feel it. So and so we're kind of waffling. And so let me back up really quick here, folks. Is that my wife and I have been in ministry for years. I mean, we were at a local church, International Church of Las Vegas. We were a part of their team there, their ministry team there. We did kind of stuff there. We went to the Dream Center of Las Vegas, did some work there, and we just did some great things. So it's not as though we're novices to being in ministry, but and so I'm a musician, so I play. Oh, there you go. Matter of fact, I have my guitar right here. I mean, some of you see my guitar. I mean, you see my guitar all the time. I play my guitar all the time, but I just so I did worship and we did ministry, blah blah blah. So, well, anyways, I got another call from another pastor, and he said, "Hey, sure, wouldn't you?" Okay, same sort of off. Well, once, if you get an offer once, you go, maybe it's a fluke. But if you get an offer twice within the same month, you got to start thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, something's going on here. So we prayed about it for a week or so, and it really didn't take that long. But and then we visited his church. And we met with the pastor. I've known the pastor for 20-something years. He's a great guy, just a wonderful guy, as a matter of fact. Young, excited. He and his wife were just wonderful people. And so, to make a long story short, we've agreed, Linda, my wife Linda and I have agreed to come on the pastoral staff over at Family Worship Center. It's located over on off of Rancho and between Vegas Drive and Lake Mead, just on the west side of the Rancho. And so we're going to be doing worship over there, and we're going to be helping to build the church. Family Worship Center has been around since the 60s, as far as I know. It's an older church, and we're going to go there, give it some love, see what the Lord wants to do. And so that's the announcement. So I've told all my whole family already, so all my family members know, or they're going to know because I texted them all and let them know this morning. So, and all my friends. And so what I wanted to make sure that our family here on Facebook knew about it. No, I will not be pulling out my Bible every 2 seconds to preach, because I've never done that. So I'm not going to change, folks. But we do what we do. Okay. Anyways, so I just want to let you guys know that. And so if you want to send congratulations, you can actually send it. You can actually send me an email if you want to send it to Pastor Sherman Ray at gmail.com. Okay, Pastor Sherman Ray at gmail.com. And you can actually send me some high fives. Okay, high fives. Okay. Anyways, let's. So thank you for allowing me to take time out of this show to tell you about that. So let's talk a little bit more about the. Do we have time? Okay, I got 1 minute. So the Aces played this weekend. Okay, our Las Vegas Aces, and they played against Sue Bird. Oh, I feel so bad for Sue. So Sue Bird plays for Seattle. Was retiring, so she's getting ready to. She's been around forever. Okay, she's been around for like 20 years. And she's getting ready to retire. She figures this will be her last game, and it'll be a successful game. Unfortunately, she played against the Aces, and they lost 89-81. And so, congratulations to the Aces. You ruined Sue Bird's retirement. Somebody's got to ruin it. Okay, it is what it is. And so, Sue Bird retired on a game where Asia Wilson scored 29 points. Kelsey Plum, 16. And it was a good night for the girls. Last story, and we'll leave on this. Many of you probably... what story do we want to do? I was thinking about this. Oh, UFC. So the UFC this weekend, we mentioned this early, that the UFC... many of you know what the UFC is. It's Ultimate Fighting Championship. I watch it every weekend. Either F1, the UFC, NASCAR, okay, or Forged in Fire. Yes, I am a boy. I am completely a boy. You're not going to ever find a feminine quality about me. You're really just not going to see it. I'm just not that. I'm not that guy. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm just not that guy. So, UFC was this weekend. I was watching the prelims to the big guys that were fighting, and something unusual happened in every single fight. Okay? Every fight ended in there was no decisions in any of the fights. It wasn't like Judge number 3 gives it to 89-85 or blah blah blah. It wasn't any of that. It was always a knockout. Every single fight. And that has only happened, I believe, twice or 3 times in UFC history, where it's 100% walk-off. It was 100% knockouts. Somebody was walking away. Nobody got a decision in the UFC fight. It was probably the best night. So we tweet during the UFC fights. So if you want to watch what we're doing in the evenings, we're generally on Twitter for Livin in Vegas. So you just go, check us out, Livin in Vegas, on our Twitter handle. And this weekend, we were probably retweeted, 1,000 times, because we were watching this fight. And it was here at the Apex, which is, the UFC sports complex. just fantastic. It was just fantastic. I know I'm barbaric that way, but it is what it is. Anyways, folks, we're done. We're done. This is a done deal. We will see you again Wednesday for the Wednesday broadcast of Livin in Vegas podcast, where we'll talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. If you when you're thinking of living in Vegas, folks, think living local and the return of cool. I'm Sherman Ray. We'll see you again Wednesday, 8:30 in the morning for Livin in Vegas podcast. See you later. Bye-bye.